Have you ever explained away something that unsettled you just because you loved how he made you feel otherwise? Have you ever caught yourself saying he's just going through a season, he'll grow out of it, or marriage will settle him down? Have you ever felt a quiet unease in your spirit around someone and talked yourself out of it because he was handsome or charming or said all the right things in front of your family? Sis, please pay careful attention because this conversation could save you years of pain, and I do not say that lightly. We're going to talk honestly about the things women overlook before marriage, the things that felt small in the moment but grew into the very things that broke them later. Let's start with something true that nobody tells you clearly enough. What you prioritize while single is often not what will matter once you're married.
When you're single, it's easy to build a list in your head. He should be tall, handsome, successful, charismatic. And don't get me wrong here, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting those things. But ask any woman who has been married 20 years what actually holds a marriage together day to day, and she won't mention his jawline. She'll talk about whether he listens, whether he tells the truth even when it costs him, whether he can sit across from her during a hard conversation without shutting down or blowing up. A handsome face across the table from you every single day for 30 years loses its shine remarkably fast if the man behind it makes you miserable. Proverbs 31 verse 30 puts it plainly, "Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." That verse is usually preached to women. However, it applies to what we look for in a man just as much. Here's the second thing, and I want you to really sit with this one. Notice whether the man you're considering answers to anyone. Does he have a father figure, a mentor, a pastor, an older man in his life who can call him out when he's wrong and he'll actually listen? Or does he move through life answering to no one, correcting himself, explaining himself only to himself? A man with no accountability is not free. He is simply unchecked. And an unchecked man does not become a checked husband the moment he puts a ring on your finger. Proverbs 15 verse 22 tells us that plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. If he has never let anyone speak into his life before you, do not assume marriage will suddenly earn you that access. Think of Samson for a moment. Gifted, strong, clearly called by God for something significant. But he consistently ignored wise counsel, going against the wishes of his parents, chasing what pleased him in the moment. His strength was never the problem. His refusal to be corrected was. And it cost him everything, eventually, including his sight and his freedom. The third thing is one of the most romanticized red flags there is, and I need to name it clearly. It is the trap of believing you are the only one who can calm him down, the only one who understands him, the only one who can reach the softer version of him that nobody else gets to see. It feels intoxicating, honestly. It feels like a love story you and him against a world that misunderstands him. But hear me clearly, sis. That is not love. That is a role. And it is an exhausting one to play for the rest of your life. A man who is only manageable because of your specific patience is not a man who has done his own healing. He is a man who has found someone willing to absorb what he hasn't dealt with. That is not romantic. That is a warning. The fourth thing is simple, but it matters more than we like to admit. Your safety, physical and emotional, has to be a genuine priority, not a nice to have. We don't talk about this enough in church spaces, but I want to be honest with you today. Marriage means sharing a bed, a home, finances, and years of your life with one person. That is not a small vulnerability. Some of the most painful stories you'll ever hear, stories of women whose careers were quietly sabotaged by a jealous husband, stories that end in tragedy, all began the exact same way. With a red flag that felt too small to walk away over, a temper explained away as passion, a jealousy explained away as love, a controlling comment explained away as protectiveness. 1 Peter 3 verse 7 instructs husbands to treat their wives with honor, as a fellow heir of the gracious gift of life. If a man's behavior before marriage already shows he does not see you as someone to be honored, do not assume a wedding day changes that instruction into a practice. And that brings us to the truth underneath everything I've said today. Marriage does not fix bad behavior. There is no dress, no ring, no vow said in front of witnesses that has ever transformed a man's character on its own. If he ignores your boundaries now, he will ignore them after the wedding. If he resists correction now, he will resist it as a husband. If he shows you a flash of cruelty now and calls it a joke, it was never a joke. Consider Abigail in the book of 1 Samuel, married to a man named Nabal, whose very name meant fool, and whose behavior matched it exactly. Scripture describes him as surly and mean in his dealings. Abigail did not marry a project she planned to fix. She married a man whose character was already visible, and she spent years managing the consequences of ignoring what was plain to see from the beginning. There's no saying a man can't change after marriage, but it is a risk that you may be better off avoiding. Now hear me out. If you are dating someone right now and something in you has been quietly making excuses for months, I want you to hear this gently but clearly. You are not being unspiritual by paying attention to red flags. You are not lacking faith by choosing to walk away from something that unsettles your spirit. Discernment is not the opposite of love, it is the protection of it. Proverbs 4 verse 23 tells us to guard our heart above all else, for everything we do flows from it. Guarding your heart sometimes looks like walking away from someone you genuinely care for, because caring for someone was never meant to override caring for yourself. So here is what I encourage you to do today. If you're in a relationship right now, take an honest look, not at the version of him you hope he'll become, but at who he actually is today, in front of you, without the filter of what you wish were true. Pray for eyes to see clearly, not eyes that only see potential. And if something in this video named a red flag you've been quietly explaining away, let today be the day you stop explaining it and start praying about it honestly instead.
If this ministered to you, let me know in the comments which point landed the hardest for you. I'll be waiting for your comments, and sharing your perspective could help someone out there. Share this with a woman who might need this today. She might be quietly ignoring something she needs permission to take seriously. Subscribe if you want more godly conversations like this every week. And remember, you deserve a love that doesn't require you to lower your discernment in order for you to keep it.